Greetings, friends. Today, wilderness cooking is venturing far from our usual home turf, off to explore the wild flavors of a distant land. We've arrived in none other than the birthplace of the famous American steak, Las Vegas.
Thank you so much for flying with us.
We traveled 7,056 miles to reach this destination. With layovers and transfers, the journey took nearly 23 hours. It's been long, yes, but every minute has been worth it. This is my first time setting foot on this grand land. If you told me 5 years ago that wilderness cooking would be filming in the United States grilling steaks in Las Vegas, I'd have laughed and said, sure, and next we'll cook stew on the moon. So, the moral of the story? Be careful what you dream about, because who knows, maybe next time we really will be simmering soup on Mars or baking bread on the moon. But for now, let's simply gaze up at Earth's luminous satellite from Las Vegas and look forward to the earthly adventure we've got planned for tomorrow. Morning, wonderful people. What about a road trip? Today we're steering through the winding roads of Mount Charleston, Nevada, a land of towering pines, crisp air, and nature so wild and serene, it feels like the mountain is whispering its own stories. This place, believe it or not, reminds me of the hills back home in Azerbaijan. A little more desert perhaps, but the soul, quite familiar. Out here, every turn of the road brings a new view. We have packed a trunk with everything we need. Steak, salt, firewood, and of course a good appetite. Now, there's something about cooking in the mountains that sharpens your senses and makes the food taste richer, even the air feels sweeter. If you're enjoying this adventure, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give us a like. It helps us share more flavors, more landscapes, and more stories from around the world with all of you at our table. After traveling such a long way, my appetite has reached its peak. I honestly can't wait any longer. So, before we pick up our knives and dive into steak prep, let's treat ourselves to something simple but soul-satisfying for lunch. If you ask me, the ultimate rural lunch has to be crumbled eggs with roasted tomatoes and onions. In Azerbaijan, this is a breakfast legend, usually served with a glass of freshly brewed, fragrant black tea. The best part, melting a whole slab of butter in a preheated pan. Watching it slowly dissolve into a golden creamy puddle. It's pure pleasure. And the moment those buttery bubbles appear, in go the chopped tomatoes. Fusion is magic. The tomatoes release their juices almost instantly, creating a sizzling, tangy sweet aroma that fills the air. Absolutely mouth-watering. Right after the tomatoes hit the butter, we crack in a few eggs. Honestly, whoever came up with this combo deserves a medal. The roasted tomatoes bring out this rich, sweet umami, and when paired with creamy eggs, perfection. Now, let me show you how to eat it properly. Grab a piece of freshly baked lavash, dip it straight into the pan, and scoop up all that saucy goodness and eggy softness. This is indulgence at its finest. Every bite is so tender, so creamy, it's comfort on a spoon. It's a simple dish, yes, but packed with nostalgia. The kind that hits you right in the heart. Ask any Azerbaijani and they'll know exactly what I mean. That childhood memory when your mom calls you to breakfast. The table set with cheese, butter, pastries, and right in the center that beloved pan of crumbled eggs and tomatoes. Let's take a slow stroll through the forest and see what kind of wild treasures Nevada has in store for wilderness cooking today. The air is crisp, the pines whisper in the wind, and you never know what kind of surprises nature has tucked between the rocks and trees. From curious critters to breathtaking landscapes, this land feels like a whole new world. Raw, the untamed, and full of inspiration for our next meal. A good steak deserves special treatment and a sauce that will elevate the taste without stealing the spotlight. It should complement, not compete. But let's be honest, many of the classic steak sauces out there are starting to feel a bit tired and predictable. That's why I've decided to break from tradition and whip up something a little different. A creamy, velvety mushroom sauce with rich, earthy notes and just the right hint of garlic. It's indulgent, it's comforting, and it brings out the depth of the steak without overshadowing it. I start by sauteing a generous handful of finely chopped onions in butter, low and slow, just until they turn golden and fragrant. And then in go the mushrooms. I'm using a mix of Gremini and wild mushrooms today. They bring an earthy aroma that instantly fills the pan and makes you hungry all over again. As they soften and release their juices, I'll sprinkle in a touch of thyme. Next comes the cream. I pour it in gradually, letting it simmer until everything melts together into a silky, luxurious sauce. Not only did I travel all the way to America, but I also brought my knives with me too. Wherever I go, no matter how far from home, my knives come along, because for me, they're the beginning of everything. If you treat your kitchen tools with the same respect I do, then you'll want to check out our online shop. I've designed these knives with care and durability in mind. Perfect for both the wild outdoors and your home kitchen. Just scan the QR code and see for yourself. Now, this whipped butter with rosemary, this isn't just a fancy flourish. There's a reason chefs take the time to prepare it, and once you taste it, you'll understand why. But it's the rosemary that does the real magic. That herb isn't just for fragrance, it brings a deep, piney aroma with a slightly resinous bite that pairs beautifully with the rich, meaty flavor of steak. Look at these beef steaks. Just take a second, look at that marbling. Those delicate white threads of fat weaving their way through the meat like a spider web spun in slow motion. That's what you want to see. When it comes to beef steaks, it's undeniably important to look for the finest marbling. As the steak cooks, that intramuscular fat begins to melt, basting the meat from the inside. It keeps every bite moist and rich, delivering that signature melt-in-your-mouth texture that sets a great steak apart from a good one. Now, let's take that beautiful rosemary butter spread and smother it generously over our steaks. As soon as the butter hits the warm surface, it begins to melt instantly, sliding into the seared edges. You can see the butter glistening, pooling slightly in the crevices, creating this glossy finish. And the smell, oh, the smell is something else. Just look at this brown crust on top. That's the Maillard reaction in action, giving us that deep caramelized exterior that crackles ever so slightly when you press your knife against it. And just before we plate it up, a final touch, a light drizzle of lemon juice. The first bite is unreal. It's rich, it's balanced, and it lingers. The kind of bite that makes you go quiet, that makes you close your eyes and just exist in that one perfect moment of flavor. I hope you could almost taste it through the screen.
Super.
Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. Until next time, back home, back to the fire, back with wilderness cooking. Greetings, dear culinary wanderers. You've never had Wagyu this tender. Today, we reach the zenith of steak perfection. Let's embark on a flavor journey unlike any before. A Japanese marvel reimagined in the cradle of the Caucasus. Yes, Wagyu meets Azerbaijan. Behold, Wagyu. Revered across the world, this beef is the silk of the culinary loom. Subscribe and join our growing table. Each click is a cheer for good food and great company. What makes it famous? It's all in the marbling. Fine threads of fat that melt like snowflakes on the tongue. But how does one honor such meat in the kitchen? Let's look to tradition for answers. This grand vessel will cradle our butter, homemade like the old days. Butter is whipped not by haste, but with rhythm, fresh milk, determination, and time. That's all it takes. We'll enrobe our Wagyu in this butter, then shell it, cocooning it in flavor. Once cloaked, the meat will rest in the cool, allowing the butter to set like a seal, locking in juices, promising indulgence. Here's something interesting. There's a small hole near the bottom of the jug into which we place a hollow wooden tube. This allows air and liquid to move more freely during the process. The jug is swung back and forth in steady motion. This continuous movement helps separate the butter fat from the buttermilk, an old effective method that relies on rhythm instead of machines. For those who wish to wear the spirit of wilderness cooking, we've got something special. Our t-shirts and hoodies are a symbol of fair-kissed meals and mountain. They feel wonderfully cozy and are tailor-made for those who cook beneath the open sky. Just scan the QR code and carry a piece of this journey with you. The moment of truth. The butter is ready. Let's strain this golden cream into a pot. Now we pour it gently. Here it is, pure handcrafted butter, ready to meet our prize steak. Now, I place the whipped cream in water with ice cubes to firm it up slightly and get a finer texture. Wagyu, quite literally meaning Japanese cow, refers to a highly prized breed of cattle known for producing some of the most exquisitely marbled beef in the world. This isn't your run-of-the-mill steak, this is the velvet robe of the beef world. A meat so buttery and rich that it nearly melts on your tongue before you even think to chew. Now, let's leave it in a chilled spot so it can start doing its work. The crown jewel of Wagyu is its incredible marbling, those delicate lacy ribbons of intramuscular fat that weave through the muscle tissue. Unlike the chunky outer fat on a standard ribeye, Wagyu fat is dispersed within the meat, giving it a tender, juicy, and almost foie gras-like mouthfeel. This marbling isn't just pretty, it's also high in monounsaturated fats and oleic acid, making it not only tastier but arguably a touch healthier than your average slab of red meat. While Japanese Wagyu is considered the gold standard, Wagyu cattle have also been exported to countries like Australia and the US, where crossbreeding creates a leaner yet still richly marbled version. In Japanese, soft-boiled eggs are beloved alongside ramen or grilled beef. Look only at this cuteness. The eggs are ready. I never said that, but I think grilled beef and hard-boiled eggs go quite well together. Despite the contrasting texture, they balance each other perfectly. A quick tea break. Now, when we get azaché in our kitchen, tea break becomes one of the most anticipated moments. I like the fact that sitting here chilling under the sun, drinking freshly brewed Azerbaijani tea, and having Japanese marbled beef tells a lot about the times we're living in. Times when cultures merge and invite to explore each other. What really surprised me is that Wagyu cattle are often massaged, and some even have classical music played to them, but not because it makes the meat more tender. The real reason is to stimulate blood circulation and ease muscle tension in cows that are often kept in small pens. I've got some beautiful eggplants here, perfect for the grill. We'll char them just right and let their smoky richness garnish our grilled Wagyu like a velvet robe. Now, adding a fried egg to a burger, that's a move of pure genius. Somewhere along the line, someone thought, you know what this needs? A golden runny yolk spilling over the meat. I'm all for it. Just like this, now you know that this beef is more than just a meal. It's almost a royal privilege to have it on your table. If you find this episode not only visually appealing and tasty, but also very informative, then subscribe to our channel and like the video. Want to stay in the loop and get a daily dose of delicious food? Then hit the bell icon.
Super.
What a day we had today, my friends. A true Japanese adventure on Azerbaijani soil with Wagyu beef grilled by these Azerbaijani hands. Let's wrap up, friends. Thanks for watching. Until next time with wilderness cooking.